Okay, let's get into it. I just want to go over our pre-market plan for you folks. Not going to cover everything right now, but just my close watch. So the only names that we are bearish bias on is Netflix. Netflix is actually trending to the downside on the higher time frame. So coming into today, I'm just looking for a pop and fade off of 95.50. Beautiful RR trade here. Can target, this low day. I'm sorry, previous day low, and then hopefully we could get some more movement to the downside. So Netflix looks really, really good here. I will be looking for a pop and fade off of 95.50 on Netflix. And then AMD is also on my close watch list, right? If we fall into 203, we're bearish bias. We have a $30 gap fill to the downside. If we stay above 203, I'm hands off because I'm not looking to long the same off this level anyway. So very simple here. I'm just waiting for that. If I can get a break and retest under 203, and I'm seeing relative weakness compared to the overall market, that's a beautiful shot for me to take. A lot of thin volume, right? We haven't taken out that previous day low during the pre-market, so that is something that I really want to see here on AMD, right? Looking for that. If we can get that, that's super solid. And then what else am I looking for? And then Apple. So Apple's also another one on my close watch list. So really the out of three names, the only two that I'm looking at, I'm sorry, two out of the three I'm bearish bias on that I'm looking to short. Like I said, if AMD gets under 203, and then Apple, it's either going to be right pullback long off 271.40. Or if this thing just wants to have a crazy rip to the upside, sure, I doubt it. We'll have to see what the overall market does. We don't have any news coming out while we're trading, but just look at the respect here. Just look at the respect off 271.40. That is beautiful. Even yesterday, right after during the after hours, this is really, really what you want to see. So I'll be looking if we can get something like that. We rip to the upside. We can't be surprised. Why? Because we already, give me one sec. We already got the retest down here. The retest already happened. So unfortunate, right? Apple, that's what Apple does. But like to see, this little base and then that pop, that's super solid. That's exactly what you want to see. The last couple of days, we would pull down here, but just not a deep enough pullback. And of course, we had our deepest pullback during the pre-market. So it's really nothing we could do about that. But of course, we are bullish bias on Apple. That's pretty much the pre-market game plan going into this, right? I want to see AMD fall under 203 to short, and I want to see a pop and fade off of Netflix, right? Even if Netflix does something like this, I don't care, right? I'm just gonna wait for it to do that again. I'm not looking to long Netflix, but what I do love is that you can see it's really respecting our key level on the dot here during pre-market. That's exactly what you want to see. So we'll see. Really nothing for me on Nvidia. I explained that to the Discord in the close watch video, right? I was looking at Nvidia, like I felt like I'm forcing this trade a little bit. If I take this setup, obviously we're bullish bias on this name. We are bullish bias on Nvidia. So you can see this was acting as support, support, support. We ended up breaking and turning this into resistance. Looks better on the 15-minute. So I was thinking, oh man, maybe if I can take a shot over this, right? I'm getting back at the bottom of the range, a key level that's being respected before we get back to the top. But the thing is, I'm pretty much maxing out or capping out my RR here because this isn't even a full $2 move to push into 176.75, and it's a key level. So I can definitely expect a little bit of selling pressure if that happens. So I'm just treating this as a no trade zone, just anywhere in this channel. And then of course, right, this is a great shot over 176.75. Reason for that being is, right, there's nothing in its way to the upside if it holds over this, right? So it's a big RR trade. And we would also be over the previous day high. So that's a great confluence for me to take this trade, right? We're no longer in this channel. We're above the previous day high, which means price is likely to continue higher. So I'm just going to be very patient here on Nvidia, right? I was hoping we got a deeper pullback off this weekly level at the bottom of the range. But hey, if this thing wants to stay heavy, that's fine. I'm gonna just take that shot. That's worth the shot to me. So at first, my game plan was to take a long off of 174.90. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's just a very tight range, a lot of compression in here. I can expect some selling pressure, and it's just not a big RR trade. But over 176, there's nothing in this way to the upside. So that's what I'm gonna do there on Nvidia, but pretty much nothing as of now. And then our game plan was like spot on, or analysis was spot on Tesla. For Tesla, I was looking for what was I looking for on Tesla? Yeah, for Tesla, the game plan was like a pullback long off of 466.50. And I said that yesterday in the live trading session, and you can see today, and we're doing the even power hour after hours, right? Look at that, our key level here being respected on the dot. So, for us to get this sell off, to me, that's no surprise. I explained that to the others. Like, we just made all-time highs. We sell off. But I said, right, during that live trading session yesterday, I want to pull back long off of this. All right, I want to be in down here. So to see our key level work out beautifully, super solid. So this isn't on my close watch list because it's just not sitting near a key level, but you can see I'm ready for both. Either we're going to get this or we're going to get this. Literally the same game plan as yesterday. It would be the same trade as yesterday. Tesla moves very strong. It does whatever it wants. So I'm gonna just be patient here on Tesla and see what happens. But that is pretty Pretty much, yeah, a close watch list. So let's get ready. Got about 1 minute here till market opens. My close watch list here is going to be, like I said, AMD, Apple, and Netflix, just so you folks are ready as well. So very heavy here on Netflix. I mean, strong on the dot. Our key level get respected. That's what I love to see. So we'll see what happens. Got about 20 seconds here. And then it's Thursday, guys. So remember, whatever trade I take, I'm playing at the money contracts on a Thursday, right? We're getting closer to expiration, so these contracts are a little bit more volatile. I don't trade that first 2 minute candle, so we'll see. When I get a pop and fade on Netflix on that first 2 minute candle, so be it. I missed the trade. Okay, so market's actually pushing up pretty decently here. I'm looking at Apple and I'm looking at Netflix. I'm looking at Apple and I'm looking at Netflix. And there's some big candles that open, so we're gonna be patient. Nothing for me on AMD. I'm not looking along this name. Right, like I said, I don't trade that first 2 minute candle. So if I miss this trade on Netflix, so be it. Got to stick to my rules. I am looking at Apple. I'll be looking at the 270 calls on Apple. Let's just see if we can get a deep enough pullback here. Okay. Gotta wait for this candle to close. But I am seeing a lot of relative weakness here on Apple. The market is actually pushing very strong. Don't take that, guys. I did not mean to take that. Very tight stop here. Yeah, I'm out. I did not mean to take that, so don't take that on Apple. Do not take that. Did not mean to buy those. My apology, folks. Hopefully you didn't take that, but I am looking at the 270 calls here if we can reclaim this on Apple. Let's see. Netflix, middle of the range. I'm sorry, Tesla, middle of the range. If Apple can give us, I wouldn't say reclaim, but if we can break and retest over this, I like it. Actually, I got out of that quick enough. That was like a $400 loss on Apple. I did not mean to take that trade. Okay, so there's actually some relative shift there on AMD, but clearly not looking to take that. Yeah, no, it would be this week on that this week expiration, the December 19th. You don't have to worry about the date when I'm calling out tech names because they're weekly contracts. So the expiration date's always going to be on Fridays. But whenever I'm trading like SPY or QQQ, I definitely have to specify the date because you can trade zero DTEs, next date, expiration, and so on. Yeah, we ended up getting an instant pop and fade here on Netflix off our key level, but as you guys know, I do not trade that first 2 minutes of market open. It's too risky for me. seems to be the pattern here on on SPY and Qs. It's been like every day, like market opens and we look really strong during the pre-market. I've noticed that pattern, and then we're just weak at market open. Qs is pulling back to the 608.45. So let's see if we can hold a support there. Let's see. There's some relative strength here on AMD, but hopefully, right, if market wants to stay heavy, AMD can give us a setup. The one thing that I like about where AMD is right now, like if this thing has a V-shaped recovery, I'm sorry, a V-shape, we'll also be breaking through the lower day. So we'll have to see, but you can clearly see the relative strength here on AMD. Netflix is no surprise to me. We're bearish bias on this name. We're trending to the downside. I just have a very hardcore rule of not trading that first 2 minute candle. It's just way too risky. Okay, so market pulling back. It's heavy. Uh, Remember, it is an inside bar day. So on a technical standpoint, price has not moved higher or lower. Got to remember that. We're just sitting dead smack in the middle of the range. If AMD breaks at 203, guys, I'm definitely looking at that to give that a shot. I'm looking at Tesla too on my left-hand side. So let's see. I'm gonna get rid of Apple just for now because we're bullish bias on that name, so there's really nothing for me there. Checks are really cheap here on um on Netflix. Really cheap. I'm looking at Netflix, right? If it wants to give us a little pop back into 95, I'll be looking at shorts here, but hmm, open interest is 26. I'll play at the money on Netflix. Right? I mean, that's if it gives us a deep enough pullback, but I'm watching AMD as well. AMD breaks, I would be looking at the 205s, but I'll wait. I'm looking at AMD on this 203 break. Nothing yet. It's still acting as support, but we'll see. Market's pulling back. Keep an eye out on Netflix. So right now I'm looking at Netflix and AMD. Those are the main two. I'm looking at Netflix, guys. I just need a deeper pullback here. Like I said, it doesn't matter what I'm playing. I'm playing at the money contracts. I'll definitely call it out. But as you know, when prices move and these strike prices move as well. So just being patient. Yeah, heavy on the Q side. Yeah, no, I'll be looking at the puts. AMD and Netflix. These are two names I'm not looking along. As long as AMD is above 203, I'm hands off. I'm really looking for really this pop and fade off of Netflix. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that. AMD, I'm looking for this. So we just got to be patient. Uh, Market's only been open 15 minutes, so we just got our first 15-minute candle. Okay, seems to have a lower day bounce here on Qs. Let's see, it could just be breaking a retesting a 608.45. So I have an alert here at the lower day on Qs. It wants to stay heavy, that's fine. Okay, let's see if AMD can break through this lower day. And remember, guys, we need proper displacement under this 203 break. Proper displacement. Okay, so Q's just broke the low a day. AMD's been using this 203 as support. So that's why I'm looking at it the way that I am, because if we can break through this, then that'd be solid. It's gonna be, you can see buyers are definitely defending this. So this is something, me personally, I want to see that. I want to see this, right? That tells me I did my job. That's no coincidence. That's a strong key level. Look at that. Acting as support. Crazy, right? So that gives me more conviction on my trade once or if we do break under this. Once or if we do break under this. It's been acting as support past couple of days. Past couple of days, but this is just us letting our trade come to us. So me personally, I love to see that reaction on AMD, right? That is on the dot. Look at that. Lower day on the dot being our 203. And then remember, we're no longer trending on this name. So if you're wondering, like, why am I not looking for a pullback long here, right? There's no dip to buy. We're not trending. We're not trending. We're sitting in a channel in between 225 and 203. But crazy, right? That's exactly what you want to see here on AMD. This move happened so fast here on Netflix. Wouldn't be surprised if it chops a little bit. We'll see. Kind of seen that coming, but you guys know me. This is like a hard rule for mine. This is a non-negotiable. I do not trade that first 2 minute candle. Dude, you can kind of see here, like on this, right, a little bit of resistance here, key level like on an intraday, smaller time frame. Yeah, it's wild. Like I just noticed this pattern, right? And this is also something that I had spotted when I wanted to, or when I did, take my swing trade on SPY is right, the market looks good during the pre-market. Look at that. Push to the upside, pre-market, push to the upside, pre-market, push to the upside, pre-market, then push to the upside, pre-market. So, after I was in pre-market, we looked really good. And then we open like this. I'm noticing that. Look at that pattern. That's something I'm really noticing. Still looking at Netflix, guys. Still looking at Netflix. The deeper the pullback, the better. Crazy here on AMD. Just seeing that, that's crazy. Looking at the 95.50 calls here. I'm sorry, shorts. 95.50 shorts on Netflix. These contracts are really, really cheap though. Really cheap. I'm paying like $65 in fees. It's crazy. If I take this on Netflix, I'm pretty much just gonna, I'll just be going in like half my position size. Because at the money contracts are pretty much $100. So if I'm taking 100, it's only 10K. So for me, I don't really care to go in with like 200 contracts and pay that much on fees. I don't know, guys. Am I being cheap? Maybe. But no, the fees are crazy, man. It adds up. Trust me, it adds up. That's why, uh, that's why everyone loves to trade Tesla. Because like the most I pay on Tesla fees is like $20, if that. But then when I trade like Nvidia or Apple or AMD, I'm paying like an extra $100+ just on fees alone. Trust me, it adds up, which is crazy. Okay, big bounce here on the market a little bit. A little bit of a slow grind here on Netflix, but I'm being patient, being very, very patient. That's what I'm looking for. Right? If we can stair step and do that, that's fine with me. Very fine with me. We'll see. Nothing going on Tesla, which is expected. It really gave us like two great days in a row, and not even because we took the trades, but it trended to the upside the day before yesterday, and then it trended to the downside yesterday after making a new all-time high. So a little bit of exhaustion period on Tesla is pretty normal. Decent bounce here on Netflix. I'm sorry, on QQQ. Like I said, we're still not really doing anything just because we're dead smack in the middle of the range, but pretty decent bounce here at this lower day. The only name setting up that I like is Netflix. It's the only name setting up that I like. Gotta read the price action here because the market is bouncing. So I gotta see like a strong seller step in. I'm looking at the 95.50 puts, guys, on Netflix. I'm looking at Qs too, though. Qs is getting a good bounce. It just reclaimed 608. I'm pinching here on pulling the trigger, though. The deeper the pullback, the higher the risk. Hold on, guys. I'm reading it. I just need a little bit of a deeper pullback. All right, I'm a risk manager before I'm a trader. Yeah, market's like ripping right now. SPY is back near the high of day. Like I said, the 95.50s. I'm patient here. If I don't get in, that's fine. Just need a deeper pullback. Because it's definitely moving with the market. I'm not gonna let FOMO kick in. I'm just reading this market. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. It's worth the risk for me. Patience. My finger is on the trigger. I'm just waiting. Patience. I just need strong sellers to show their hands. I'm short Netflix. Very tight stop. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Very tight stop. Worth the risk for me. We are bearish bias on this name. SPY's rejecting 678.45. Hughes is pulling back as well. As long as we're under our key level we're risking off of, we're fine. We're fine. It's worth the shot for me. It's just worth it for me. We're trending to the downside on this name. So if I get stopped out, so be it. So market is pulling back. I'm seeing a little bit of divergence here on Netflix compared to the market. See these wicks still? Like I love that. Sellers are definitely defending this 95.50. Right? Plan my trade, trade my plan. It's not my job to be right or wrong, but this is a high probability shot. We're in this. If I lose this is a great trade, bro. I don't care. I gotta take that shot. It's just a high probability shot. It's off a weekly level. So be it. You can see sellers are stepping in, like trying to defend this. Just be patient, guys. Embrace it. Embrace it. Like what we're looking at is either going to be a good loss or a good win. There's a little bit of relative strength here. It is. There is relative strength on Netflix, but I do like the markets pulling back. So we'll see. We'll see. No matter how this plays out, this is a really good trade. This is a really good trade, guys. It's uncomfortable, but so be it. Sorry, I did not mean to have typos on and scream at you, Jason. Yeah. I feel like just like nothing to lose and like everything to gain here. We'll see. It's just that this name is trending on the daily. And I'm actually comfortable letting like I'm in half my position size here. So I'm comfortable just like letting this thing, let's just see what happens. The contracts are up. So, guys, you can maybe try and scale accordingly how you want, but I'm willing to like let this play out. I'm willing to let this play out. Big winners require sitting through pain. Like we just sat through the hard part. We just sat through the hard part. So, let's not freak out now that like the trade's moving in our favor. You know what I mean? So I understand like Netflix though. Netflix is not like a Tesla, right? I understand this is a bit of a slow mover, but we are trending on this name to the downside. So the market's, reversing now. So we'll have to wait and see. There we go. See what happens. See if we can break through this. These contracts are up over 10% now. So let's just see. Let's just see. It's a beautiful trade. We've already been in this for like almost 15 minutes. It's just a very big RR here. It's a very big RR. I want to see us break under this 94, 96 that you see us hesitating at now a little bit. I'd love to see us like break through that. You know, something that Tom Hogarth says is big winners require sitting through pain. So, we'll see. We'll see. The market is dropping. The market is dropping. So pullbacks are healthy, pullbacks are normal. Like I said, guys, you can scale accordingly, right? I'm sitting in this, like I'm in half my position size. So I'm fine letting this like play out. As long as we're nowhere near my 95.50, there's really no reason for me to exit this trade. My stop loss is way up here. But with this market, moving lower, this is what you want to see. It's a green trade. At the end of the day, it's a green trade. So I know certain names they pull back to scare us out before the move happens. But that like this is a trade that I have to take, bro. This is a beautiful trade. I want us to like break under this 94, 96. We can break under that. I'm really just trailing my position now. That looks good. If Q's and SPY can break the low a day, we're solid. These contracts are up 20% right now. Guys, this looks really good. This looks really, really good. The contracts are up 20. Wowzers. Wowzers. Wow. Guys, what a week. What a week, guys. Are you kidding me? The patience. Oh my gosh, bro. Maybe I should have went in full size. These contracts are up 30%. My new stop loss is 94 and 96. It's a green trade. It can't go red. So if that goes green to red, let's see. Now, guys, what a trade. What a trade. What a trade. That was beautiful. What a trade, guys. What a trade. Please tell me you guys caught that. I got out there fully. That was beautiful. Sucks those contracts were so cheap, but that was beautiful. What a trade, guys. Nice. Nice. I know that was uncomfortable, but I knew what I was looking for. Like when you look at this, just look left. Like, man, sellers were defending this, right? We're paying a pop and fade. This is right off the pre-market plan, off a weekly level. So uncomfortable. I know, but like this is why, I also teach. Don't look at your P&L when you're in a trade. I don't even look at my P&L, right? When I'm in a trade, I'm not looking at that. As long as we're under our key level that we're risking off of, so be it. Like we got to sit in that. There's no reason to exit that trade. So I know it was uncomfortable because I've been in your shoes. So it's an uncomfortable trade for sure. Nice, Jason. That was beautiful. That was patience. I accidentally went long on Apple. I did not mean to do that. I got out super quick though. It was like a 4% stop loss. I did not mean to do that. So I'm glad you guys did not take that trade with me. My apologies on that. But this was like beautiful. Right. And then, right, how do we get like the biggest winners? We just bar by bar it on the higher time frame. So I'm not really the trader that's ever going to sell at the peak high or the peak low because I'm making the assumption that that's the low. I want price like market structure to take me out of my trades. You know what I mean? So, we sat in this trade for like 15, 20 minutes. I'm not going to be stubborn and like hold this and force it. We ended up getting stopped out here. That's a beautiful trade. That's a beautiful trade. These contracts are up like 30% down here. So still a trade up over 20%. That was great. That was right off our pre-market plan. Nice. What are we guys for? 4 for 4 on the week? I think we are. It's been a crazy week. Crazy week. Yeah, those contracts are like fairly cheap. And I did not want to go in with 200 contracts on that. Like I was in with 100 contracts. I was like, no way on a name like Netflix. I want to go in with 200. You know what I mean? So still super solid trade. Great day. Those contracts moved in the money. Nice. All right, guys. I think that's all she wrote. I think that's all she wrote. There is one more thing I want to hit on. I'll probably hit on this during uh give me one sec. Let me look at this. One more thing I want to hit on. So we'll see how tomorrow looks because tomorrow we do have give me one sec. So tomorrow is I don't know if you guys know, the rebalance day. I'll explain this a little bit more in the Discord. So we'll see what that does, right? It could give us, a big volume spike in liquidity, or it could just be a choppy day. It's a Friday. We're 4 for 4 in the week. We're risk managers before traders. So we'll see what happens. But tomorrow's a S&P rebalance. I think it only happens like 4 to 5 times a year. It happens in March, June, September, and December. Yeah. So I'll explain that a little bit more thoroughly. But we'll see, what happens tomorrow. We'll definitely see what happens tomorrow. But solid trade, solid day, early work day for all of us. I think that's pretty much it. Um, I will be on standby. You guys know me. I'm pretty big on one and done. Less is more. But AMD is setting up. This name is definitely setting up. Like I'll show you here what I'm looking at on the. Let me go on the daily. This thing stops lagging. Like yesterday we got it right. We got the break displacement. We ended up gapping above, but not necessarily gapping above. But we ended up, coming back above 203, pretty strong. So I'm still looking for this, right? A break and retest under 203. You can see it's being defended very, very well here. Very well. So this is something that's definitely on my close watch list. We'll see what happens going into tomorrow. Like if this sets up, I'm I'm very open to swing trading this because it's off a weekly level. I love going into a swing trade, at the end of the week. That way I can just relax during the weekend. And, like I said, we can't forget this. This is like a $30 plus gap fill. So the reason that I love this setup is one, we'll be bearish bias. We are moving lower, right? We have an objective play to the downside, which is this gap fill, and we're going to break and retest under 203, which is also a break of structure level. So there's a lot of confluences on this 203 trade that's setting up. A lot of confluences. So you can see, right, we're moving lower. I'm not looking to go long on this name unless we're over 225. So that's something we can keep an eye out for. But today, it's funny you guys are saying, it was uncomfortable, but that's good, right? Like that's trading. It's going to be uncomfortable. That's why I always say, as long as you're above or below your key level, uh, you got to sit in your trade. But what I really loved about this trade, it's not even the trade itself that, we executed well. It wasn't patience. It wasn't patience. Like we were really reading this, waiting for strong sellers to step in, right? And then we got that sell off. That's exactly what we were looking for. And then not only that, we didn't really wag our tail when the trade went in our favor. You know what I mean? We got the break, we got the momentum, and we let the market tell us when the move was finished. We didn't guess when the move was finished. Of course, right? I would love this to go all the way down to the lower day. But see what happens? This is why we let market structure tell us, hey, get out the trade. Because now we'll be back pretty much to break even or zero. So that was a solid trade. I'm glad you guys had a solid day. A solid week, right? We're 4 for 4 on the week. Let's keep this thing going. And hope you guys are able to learn something. So if you guys got questions, right, you can always message me. And I will see you guys on the next one.